Hi everyone. Happy weekend or end of the weekend, should I say. Hi Dawn, Leslie, Sherry, Kenny, Kathleen. Hope you guys are doing well. So today is going to be kind of a fun little one. So I used to do this a couple months ago. Gosh, maybe it's been a year now. I don't know. I used to have a buddy color page for the channel, and then anyone who wanted to do it could, do it and share on Instagram. So I brought that back this month, and this month we are working on a page from Gnome Sweet Gnome. Now, I put them up for vote in my Discord channel, and those in my Discord channel get to vote. But they picked this cute little watermelon page, and so it's perfect for summer. But what I ended up doing is, because I'm not a big fan of the new Create Space paper, not Create Space, I'm sorry, Coloring Heaven paper that is pretty kind of like Create Space. It works well with like Black Widow pencils like you see here, but yeah, like when it comes to water soluble mediums, I do not like to use it on this. It tends to leave lines. So that's why I am going to be using my preferred paper. So that's the Nina 110 pound cardstock. So I just scanned it, printed it out, and then I put it on an artist board so it would stay nice and flat. And then, of course, I do have my little heat tool so I can dry things and kind of speed things up. Just trying to find a place to put that. So yeah, that is what we're going to work on today. This will kind of be similar to a little buddy color, because you can color along with me, because this is the channel's buddy color. And then I'm going to try and follow up on another video with it, but it is really cute. I love all the watermelon like shapes too. So like they got a watermelon popsicle, but then there's like a watermelon heart. I don't know, like there's just some random things. The one thing that threw me off is these are watermelons, but then there's like a stem right here. So I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I am using the Inktense. No, this is not the 65 pound. I know Nightbot will tell you, but I don't think I put it in the description yet. This is the 110 pound Nina cardstock. I don't like the 65 pound. That said, 110 pound can't go through everyone's printer, so I do have to keep that in mind. But I like this 110 pound Nina. It has a slightly rougher side and then a really super smooth side, so you can pick which side you want to work on. Because I'm using Inktense, believe it or not, I'm going with the slightly rougher side, and it's just a tiny bit rough, but it's enough for things to dissolve better and look better than on the super smooth. So yeah, I do the Nina 110. This is the paper. Anytime you see me print out a PDF or scan and print, this is the paper I work on. I've been working on this paper for like, I don't know, 3 years. So I wanted to start with the sky and just get a little bit of that out of the way. So I am using some of the newer colors from Derwent Inktense, as well as the older colors. So like for the sky, I'm going to be using the Lapis Blue and Malibu, but you're not going to really find one in the old set that's close to Malibu, because it's just too light. But you could go ahead and use Iris, and then instead of Lapis Blue, I would swap it around to maybe like your navy, and it'll just be a little bit darker, but it'll still give you that same contrast with the same underlying colors. Hi, Carol. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of the whatchamacallit, the 65 pound. I know a lot of people like it, but I'm just not one of them. So I am just going to start by putting some layers down Let's hope they look pretty. But I wanted to get this out of the way first. And it's one of the easier tasks. I do have my white as well that I'll add in. Maybe I might just go back with some gouache or something. I wish I could zoom in for you guys, but when I went to turn on my camera, it said you needed a software update. So I updated the software, and now it doesn't recognize my camera on the tuner. So I'm going to have to troubleshoot that later. But I was like, oh, okay, great. That's what I get for updating. I should have just said no. But yeah, so we'll have to have a nice zoomed out view today. I'm just putting these down pretty lightly because you can always do a second layer. And as with like Inktense, these are permanent. These are not watercolor pencils. These are water-soluble ink. So they are permanent. Like you could draw on fabric, wood, whatever, and it'll stay. So always keep that in mind. Like if you're working with something that's permanent, just light layers and then add more. These are pretty vibrant too, even with lighter layers. So keep that in mind. And if you put too much down, oh my gosh, it is so thick. I don't like the way it looks when it comes out that way. So I prefer just start small, see what I think, go from there. But yeah, these are definitely pigmented. Cannot say they aren't. But I'm just keeping it nice and light and using the side of my pencil to just keep that natural sharpening. Oh, hi, Ronnie Blue. So how is everyone's weekend? Out here, school is out. So that means children are home. This was our first full week of the kids home. Of course, my one daughter has the broken arm. But we're hoping she'll be allowed to do a little bit more next week. We see the surgeon tomorrow, actually. So we'll find out if we can, I don't know, do something a little more entertaining. But I know it's going to be, she'll have to take it easy no matter what, because it's too high to cast. So it'll be an interesting summer, that's for sure. My kids and broken bones. And they drink so much milk. Their bones should be iron. Oop, gotta stay on frame. Yeah, I'm just going in between these two blue colors. Nice and light. Then I'll activate them, see how I like it, and then I can always add more. Hi, Mona. All right, let's see. Let's activate this side and see what I think. Oh, want my bigger brush. Finally primed my Pentels because I do love those. I do have one of my Kuretake ones as well. I just bought a new pack of them, but I haven't opened them. I need to. All right, so with Inktense, I always go from light to dark and just plan on wiping a lot. And I like these colors. And the reason I say wipe a lot is because as I go into the darker color, I don't want to bring that back down into my lighter color. It'll take it over, unless that's the look I'm going for, but I'm not. I want to preserve this light color, so. Stay in the lines, stay in the lines. And then you can always just scumble like that, so you don't have lines showing or any harsh blending lines. But I usually try to work in sections so that, like, if I were to stop right here and there was a little water line, you'd never know because I'll come back over it. Hi, Tanya. All right, so right here, I'm going to go from the middle, blue. And I don't want my sky super, like, dark. I just want it nice and light. Then I'll add some clouds, maybe if I can fit them in. It's a pretty busy page. Lots of watermelon. We'll see how it looks once I get the watermelon all in there, and then I can decide if I want to go a little bit crazier with the background. Let's see. Oh, this is leaking. I must have overfilled it. Really like these new blues they came out with, though, with the Inktense. If only they were at Blick. It's so funny. I keep getting messages from others saying, Blick told me this. And, like everyone has a totally different answer. So, and I think I've told you guys before, I have 2 different answers from Blick personally, like me talking to them. So, yeah, I reached out to my contact from the affiliate portal because I was like, you know what, maybe they'll have a better idea. So I'll see if they give me a better answer, but I did let them know all the different things like my viewers have heard and I have heard, because I was like, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, your customer service is like either doesn't know what they're talking about or I don't know, but you guys probably should fix this. But I mean, hey, Jerry's is gonna have them, so if Blick wants to just be weird about it, whatever. The Tombow water brushes, I do have those, and I do use them. Actually, they're really good ones. So yes, I do agree about that. They're in my drawer right now. My favorite though is the Pentel, but I do really like the Tombows. I love the way they release water. They're not like the Kiritaki ones where sometimes like if you accidentally press too hard, it's like, oh crap, like it's just a ton of water. So I do like that. The Tombows are nice. Pentel, of course, is my favorite. I do like the Prima marketing ones too, though. I feel like they're kind of underrated. But there's so many brands out there. And the thing is it's just like with colored pencils, it's really unique to how you like to use them. So that's the thing to keep in mind. Like what works for one person may not work for the next. I'm going to assume this space here is this gnome up here. So we're going to come up this way. Hi, Dee and Evelyn. Hat. See, I'm doing the background first, like I promised in my last stream. Background first. That was my goal for June. Oh, it's rough too. I'm working on a portrait right now in my room, but there's no background because I'm not giving it a background. So I'm like, there. All right, let's do the lighter one. Yep, gotta do the background first. That's my goal for June. It's like a face your fears moment because I have a ridiculous fear. Don't know why. Does anyone else have like a fear of backgrounds? I think part of my problem is I just spend so much time on the page that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ruin it. And also, I just can't always picture the background from the get-go. Like sometimes I need the page done to like, picture my background. But then by then I've spent all that time doing the page. So I'm like, I'm gonna ruin it. So that's partly the issue because I don't really plan colors. Like I picked out colors today for the live stream, but that was for you guys, so you didn't have to sit here and wait for me to pick colors. Prefer to fly by the seat of my pants, and whatever color I go with is what I go with. Like I have the Sarah Renee Clark palettes, but even then I'll try to use those, and then I'm like, no, I feel too limited, even though like her palettes make perfect sense and they're awesome. I just I just picked the color that speaks to me in that moment. Will it look good? I don't know. But I've noticed that about me. I probably will come back with a second layer on this sky. But I will also get some white in there. But we'll get this first layer down. Yeah, I mean, I tend to keep my backgrounds pretty simple as well. But the thing is like, when I'm doing a portrait, okay, if I do a background, I don't want the background to stand out. I just spent hours coloring hair and skin. I want that to be what everyone sees. Like, who cares about the background? So I tend to keep them simple. But there are some pages where I'm like, oh, the background could really make this page. And so that's why I really want to get better about it. But it depends on the page, because there's quite a few where I would be like, no, this would, like, the background isn't what I want to stand out. But I mean, there are some people that'll make the most insane backgrounds, and I'm like, how'd you do that? And they'll do it first. And I'm like, how'd you picture that? I just can't. Oh, that's the hat. Okay. Get this one down. I really do like the Inktense, even dry. They lay down really nicely. It's interesting. Someone asked me if, because they were told that the Inktense are super waxy. I personally haven't noticed that, but I'm wondering if anyone else has. Like, I don't find them super waxy whatsoever. I mean, gosh, but I am a Prisma girl, so when you say waxy, I'm thinking Prisma. But it's not like I'll get a wax bloom if I use these dry. But I heard someone say that, and I was like, huh. I think it could also depend on the pencil that you typically use. But yeah, these just don't feel waxy to me. But I'd be curious to see if anyone else feels that they're waxy. It would just be good to note. And also, if you do find them waxy, do you tend to use more like harder leads like polychromos, or do you use Prismas? Because that, I think, might be what the difference is. Kenny says not waxy. Yeah. So I don't find them waxy at all. I find them quite smooth, but not waxy. And like I've sat and layered Inktense quite a bit before, dry. And yeah, they're still a harder lead, but not like polychromos level, but still, I think they lay down quite nicely while dry. And you can use them dry. Derwent did design them to be used dry. It's just they shine when activated. So I feel like you're not giving them their best shot if you don't activate them, though, because it's like, oh, kind of a wah-wah. Get in there. All right. Yes, they do have a different feel than other pencils, but that's because they have that, dye-based ink in there. The pigment is a little different with the fillers. But that's what gives us, well, what we get with these pencils. So that is true, though. They do feel a little different. All right. I'm trying to think I'm not gonna like fret over the lines, because I kind of think some bleed through of the color onto a few of the other elements would look kind of cute. So other than the watermelon, don't really want a blue watermelon. Hi, Robin. It has been a while. Whoop. There we go. Oh, and for those of you who are subscribed to my diamond painting channel, there is a giveaway going on that channel right now. It ends on Tuesday, so just FYI, if you're interested. All right, almost done with that. Then I'm gonna dry the paper because it kind of helps. Oh, me get a little more color here. Oh, no worries, Sonia. I'm hoping my son is feeding our dogs right now. I told him like 3 times before I came up here. Teenagers. Ugh, those kids. All right, let's try this. I did not cave to the DAC mega release, but it was really hard. So, but yeah, I had like just broken my no buy. So I did not want to, yeah. I was like, all right, I've got more paintings than, yeah, I need to work on what I got. I got way too many. Okay, so now I'm using gold. This is one of the newer colors. Hi, Joanna. Welcome to the channel. Oh, let's see. Her arm is okay. We're going to the surgeon tomorrow, but she's been on bed rest for like 2 weeks. Just because they can't cast it because it's so high. So we'll find out tomorrow if it's starting to fuse, and then kind of like go from there. They may put her on like, hey, you can do some light work, or you can walk around more, because I know she's stir crazy. Like it's there's only so much you can do laying down. My bed lifts, so she like lays at an angle and does puzzles, but yeah, there's not, I don't know, there's not much to do. She can't color because she needs her other hand to hold the page, because that's just how she likes to color. So she's getting definitely stir crazy and frustrated, and her girls' camp was this week. So she's bummed because she definitely can't go to that no matter what they say. But just it's another summer with another kid with a broken limb. And then my son tried out for the comp teams again, and he's back on, or he's on the same team as before. So that means I'm going to have a lot of soccer tournaments this summer. I'm waiting for them to get with us and let us know when that craziness is going to go down. But yep, we've got a whole other year of comp soccer. Oh, lurk away. I tend to lurk on streams. I'm so bad though, I won't even say anything. I just turn them on when I'm working, and I forget to even say hi. I'm like, I should say hi, and then I'll like get sidetracked and start working on something, and then yep, it's over. But I tend to lurk quite a bit on live streams. All right, I'm gonna use my smaller brush. Leslie, it should pop up. Just wait for Nightbot to pop up and tell you. I'll link it in the description after the stream. I just kind of forgot, but I remembered to add it to Nightbot. It'll be in the same one where he says, hey, this is the book we're working on. But I just realized I am just assuming Nightbot is a he. Nightbot could be a she, right? It, she, I don't know. But yeah, it will pop up on one of those, and then I'll add it after the stream to the description. Actually, it should be in my description no matter what. I have it as like a placeholder, but because I'm going through StreamYard, since YouTube's personal platform is not streaming well lately, I don't think it all carried over. But yeah, I prefer this paper. I don't use this paper with markers though. I have something totally different for markers. Markers, I use a Hammermill, very smooth cardstock. Oh, it's so nice. The ink stays wet. It keeps blending. Who needs marker paper when you can buy just good quality printer paper? Because marker paper is expensive. And I've actually noticed some marker papers perform worse than my hammer mill. So I know because it's not zoomed in, you probably can't see any of those seeds I made. Oh my gosh, let's see. How do you say that? Blue vert to I'm just gonna call you Blue. I use alcohol markers, yes. I love alcohol markers. They're one of my favorites. Okay. So we are going to do now Pink Flamingo. This is the new one. Oops. I'm gonna have to erase that now. Fun fact about derwent Inktense. You can erase it while it's dry. So if you make an oopsie, I accidentally scratched my paper. But so Pink Flamingo is one of the new colors, and it's really like a nice light pinkish color. But if you're following along and you don't have that, then just use Cherry, which is in the old set. So, but yeah, I do love markers. I want to do more videos using markers. It's just hard because my favorite marker is the Copic, and not everyone has Copic. So let me see if I can get this darn thing to zoom in a little more. If it'll work. I restarted it 50 times. No, it's not going to work. Things. All right. Well, I am just putting a nice... What I'm doing here is with the Pink Flamingo, I'm not coloring in the entire thing because I want to leave white space and like drag the color. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, let me test that out and see if I like it. Or annoying French name user. Well, I knew it was French, but I didn't want to butcher it. So what I do when I am dragging, I just gently activate, dry off the brush, and then wiggle it out. And then when I have these bigger spaces, I can usually drag it for a little bit. But like when I'm in a teeny tiny space, not so much. And then I kind of just scumble it in anywhere I see fit. And I try to not have a super wet brush with Inktense, you know, to each their own, but I prefer my water brush just barely damp. Hi, Marilyn. So blending Copics versus Ohuhu, technically the technique is the same. However, the ink and color range from Copics are really well thought out and designed to blend easier. So I find that you can blend them out easier. I mean, but the technique itself is the same no matter what. It's just the color ranges. I should do a video kind of showing the differences. But yeah, it's just a slight thing. Like, so when I'm creating layers with my Ohuhus, I have to just be a little bit more careful about what colors I'm putting together. Whereas with Copic, it's just, yeah, there's not as much effort. And then, of course, I absolutely love the Copic nib, and that does make a difference. The Ohuhu nib is not a Copic nib. I use Ohuhu. I did my marker collection video. I got a ridiculous number of markers. I need to use them. I did sell my Blick markers because they just were not getting any love, and I kind of want to stick to the brands that I know I'm going to use on the channel or even privately. And I just, you know, I like the Blick, but I just don't see them getting much attention. So I sold those, but I still have my Artezas, Ohuhus, and then of course my Copics. There's something else in there. Oh, my tri-blends. I like the tri-blends. All right, now we gotta go this one here. I'm debating, like, this has the watermelon pattern. Maybe it's like you could cut out watermelon in a stencil shape. I don't know. I'm debating with how I want to tackle that one. Yeah, this, like the meat of the watermelon, as we'll call it, I'm just doing only this one color and just kind of dragging it out. And I may even go back and just shade it with the dry pencil. We shall see. All right. I get so hyper focused when I'm activating colors. That's the problem with using like these water soluble mediums. Because then I'm like so focused on activating it that I'm like, oh, right, talk. But it's like, I want to stay in the lines and not cover up these little golden seeds I created. There we go. Okay. Yeah, these are the Inktense. We've got some of the new ones, some of the old ones. I mean, right now it looks like I'm only using the new ones, but I promise I do have old ones mixed in. Gosh darn it, there's some really nice new colors I like. Hi, Catherine. I love the lighter colors they added, like this pink flamingo. Oh, what was it? Amethyst. Oh, that's beautiful. The light blue they added. Just yeah, I love the light ones they added in. Now, if you put them on a palette, you could have turned any original Inktense into a lighter shade, but I like to color straight to paper. So for me, that was a win. Okay. And I'm still just using the pink flamingo. Nice thing with Inktense is like once they're dry, you can go over them with gel pen and whatever. Like, so if you want to add like some white highlights, whereas, like with Prismacolor, you can't just go right on top of that. The wax just doesn't let anything move. Yeah, it does come in a 300 pack, but I go through it really fast personally. So, well, I shouldn't say like really fast, but I probably go through it faster than most. However, it's a really, well, I don't know about for you because but yeah, here in the US, like, it's really affordable considering you get 300 pieces of paper. So it's one of my preferred ones. And it wasn't always double-sided. They only added that this last year. And I don't mind it because the slight amount of tooth is nice depending on the pencil you're using at that time. So it makes it more versatile. Because, there's like most brands, it's, the same thing on both sides. But this one, it was kind of like, oh, look what we did here. I bought 2 packs because at first I thought there was a defect. So I was like, but no, that's what they did. They changed it up. But they still have their super smooth side that I love and I use all the time. And then, like I said, this slightly toothier one is great for like Inktense, and if you have a pencil that performs better with some tooth. And then watercolor pencils do a lot better on that too versus the super smooth cardstock. They need something to grip onto. Like Prisma works great on the super smooth, so let me get this little wet. You're in Texas? Oh, yeah. Then, I mean, it should be pretty cheap, but I mean, I know 300 sheets is a lot. I don't think they make a smaller one you could try out. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I have a frog in my throat. It's because I was making some diamond painting pens today, and this morning I went and sprayed them and put some polyurethane on, and it's like been irritating me all day. Okay. Excuse me. Now we need our flamingo. Yeah, it is a good price for 30 sheets. If you compare it to like some of the other papers that a lot of us use for coloring, it's like freaky cheap. And then if you don't use it a lot, like, I mean, because I'll print out a full PDF book and it doesn't even dent it. So just, I would double check your printer can handle 110. Like it goes through fine on mine. And I don't even use the manual feeder. I straight up put it in the the paper tray. But I am also lazy. As soon as I found out it didn't need to go through the manual feeder, I'm like, well, no more of that. And I'm afraid to replace my printer like I need to because it's getting harder to get the cartridges because it's really old. But like I don't know, it handles like heavier cardstock so well. But yeah, like the replacement cartridges for the toner are starting to get really expensive because they don't make my printer anymore. And obviously they don't want to keep making these cartridges. But I had told myself once I ran out of toner, I would just replace it. But then I'm like, I just like, I don't want to buy something that ends up not working as well, especially with printing PDFs. Hi, Durbin. Good morning. Let me switch over here. Oh, thanks, Evelyn. That's so sweet of you. It's so weird. So on my StreamYard, it won't tell me when people do things, so I have to switch over and check it there. It's an annoying little feature StreamYard needs to fix, but that was really sweet of you, Evelyn. Thank you. I'm sure everyone will appreciate it. And this is like the world's largest watermelon slice. There we go. All right, I'll see you later. Hi, Amberly. Okay, we got more watermelons down here. Like I know Teresa Goodridge doesn't, title her pages, so I've just titled this one, watermelon page, because you can find it in the book easily. Just go find the page with nothing but watermelons. It is a cute one. I think we had 2 from her new book that were up for the vote in Discord. I let my daughter pick. She's usually the one that picks anyways, but I definitely let her pick this go round because, well, she's having a boring summer, so I had to give extra work for her to do. Well, that's so sweet of you, Evelyn. Hi, Leanne. And Melissa. I don't think I said hi. I saw you. I just didn't say hi. Sorry. I'm trying not to put my hand on that wet watermelon. One of my favorite ways to activate these are the colorless blenders, but today I decided to go with the water brush. Just, I don't know. I haven't used it much lately, and I feel like I need to. The colorless blenders are just so much more fun because they like dry instantly. So it's like, and done. And then you don't have to worry about water control. Yeah, just so many things. Okay, I gotta get this one. Where did she break her bone? She broke her humerus. So that's the big bone, basically the only bone, between your elbow and shoulder. Um, she didn't even fall very hard. That's a really interesting bone to break, that's for sure. But yeah, she broke her humerus, but she just broke it so high up. It's like right there where it starts to meet with the shoulder. So they can't cast that because, well, there's nothing for it to grip onto. But it was an impressive break. It's not fractured. That thing is broken and displaced. Ah. Like when we took her to the ER, I honestly just thought because I love her, but she can be quite dramatic. So I was like, oh, it's fine. It's probably just dislocated or you hurt your elbow. And then he comes in, he's like, hey, so she broke her humerus. I'm like, no, she didn't. And then he shows me the x-ray and I'm like, holy crap, she didn't just break it. Like it was broken and shifted off to the side. Ugh. It's like, okay, never mind. She's not faking it. But yep. It would have been so much easier though if they could just cast this one. Like then she could have just gone about her summer with a cast on. I know. I think this book is really cute. I love I buy everything from Teresa Goodridge except the cat book. She's got the cat one. I'm sorry, Teresa. I don't like cats. Sorry. But other than that, I buy every book of hers. And she has that other one coming out. Is it coming out in August now or September? I can't remember. It's coming out this fall, but it's for Christmas, if I remember correctly. And it's super cute. So, yeah, you can go pre-order that one. I highly recommend it. I wish they would stop using this crappy paper to stay, it seems. But yeah, her little gnome ones are adorable. I love it. Oh, it has some in there too. Yeah, I have a few. Oh my gosh. I have quite a few pre-orders. I think is it a mythographic one that's coming out this month? I know I got something coming this month. I might have two coming this month. Carolina Kubikowska actually has a book that you can pre-order on her Etsy. It doesn't release or start shipping till December, but just FYI. I saw that pop up the other day. I need to snag my pre-order before it's gone. Yeah, okay, the mermaid one. I knew there was something coming out. Is that the one that's like deep blue or something? I can't remember. I feel like I have quite a few mythographic pre-orders with Amazon. uh, there's quite a few coming out like just this year alone. They're just like belting them out right now. It's quite impressive. And I'm glad because there's so many artists that have actually started to like slow down or stop making books because the market is getting saturated with all the AI. In fact, I reached out to one of my favorite artists the other day and I was like, please don't. I'll still pay for your pages. Increase the price. I'll pay for it. Don't let all these AI books make you guys stop creating because I want to buy your work. So yeah, I'm hoping we won't lose too many. I'm gonna color this one like a watermelon. Yeah, there's and the problem is these AI ones are ridiculous, and they belt them out. And then I mean, AI has been around for quite a while, and a lot of people don't realize that. It's become more prevalent now because there are free or cheaper tools to do the AI artwork. But I mean, I will still say Teresa Goodridge. If she had to increase the cost of her books to $10 to start making a living because the AI books are taking over, I would still pay $10 for her books. I was actually talking to Hannah Lynn the other day, and she said she was afraid to raise the price of her Patreon because she didn't want to make it unaffordable, but right now she's just losing out to AI. And I was like, woman, I would pay for it. Like, there's quite a few of us in this community that appreciate the art you all make. Like, so it really sucks to see some of your favorite artists kind of like giving up. Like, I've noticed quite a few of my favorite Etsy artists have really slowed down on creating pages, and that's because they're losing out to AI. It's so sad. Yeah, the Hannah Lynn one is bumming me out. I talked to her, and we're gonna do some stuff with Hannah Lynn. So keep an eye out for that. But same with Yana Prosperina. I don't have any of her artist editions, but they are worth it. I know quite a few people that do. Great paper and all that. And then, of course, they're spiral bound and signed by her. I just tend to, like, I'm switching over to her PDFs because a lot of the artists are getting hit by the increase in printing costs for create space type books. So I am now switching to buying the PDF version of a lot of my favorite artists that I would also normally buy on Amazon, but I'm buying, like, so for Hannah Lynn, just go straight to her website and buy off her website. Then that way she gets most of the commission, and as opposed to her Etsy or her Amazon itself. So if you can, do it that way, and you can either get her artist edition there or PDF. But I appreciate the hand-drawn stuff. The AI stuff, especially with the hair, when I go to color the hair and then I'm like, why is there a flower petal in the middle of this freaking hair? It annoys the crap out of me. But yeah, it's quite bumming. But I'm also extra sensitive to the AI because, like, my job, for example, my industry has been replaced by AI. Like, our clients have basically told us, hey, we can hire AI. And this is what's annoying about it. They're like, hey, we can use AI and we'll get, 500 blogs way cheaper, but the quality is awful. But they're willing to sacrifice the quality so that they can just, create these quick blogs. But the blogs literally read like garbage. And so I'm like, okay. But that's what a lot of companies are doing. So yeah, like, my full-time job went away and I'm now working part-time, but the CEO was saying that because our orders are so slow, they're probably going to, like, shut down here, um, this year because we can't compete with AI. So that's why I've been working on so many different little ventures because I'll probably be jobless. But like, I am the director of operations, and so, like, that experience and that role itself, I can go apply for jobs similar in other industries, but I know content, like, that's where my knowledge is at. So, like, some of these ones I'm applying to are, like, in manufacturing, and I'm like, I don't know anything about this. But so it's like the industry I'm working in and have worked in for a long time is being replaced by AI, but my job itself, I could find a replacement, but I'm kind of looking for jobs that are AI, like, that can't be replaced by AI, which is why we're doing dog training and dog boarding, because AI cannot train your dog or board your dog. Sorry, you're going to have to use a human. So that's why I've been really focusing on that, because I'm like, well, you can't replace that one. But it's just awful. Is what it is. Kind of, we, like, joke with my husband that his job is AI proof because, well, he's a firefighter. So he has like literally no worries. Like the only thing they might have is AI like help with some certain systems, but no matter what, you're gonna need a human to do that job. But it's ridiculous. That's what it is. But oh well, it is the world we live in. Let's see. Lucky to not, he won't be replaced by AI. You definitely are. Um, quite a few people. Gosh, like, so the craziest thing is, so when my job switched me to part-time, I was like, you know what? I want to work on my novel. Like, I've had this novel sitting in a drawer. I really want to work on it. But my biggest concern is novel, will novel writers even be a thing in a couple years? So that part, I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to spend months and hours of my life writing my novel only for like AI to replace me in a couple years? Right now, they can't replace novel writers because most of the time they repurpose other books' content, but it'll just get smarter and that may change. So we shall see. But I do want to write my novel. I just don't want to waste my time. Does that make sense? It's like I want to finish it, but then I don't want to be replaced by a robot yet again. I don't know. Like right now you can't be, but who knows? Add a little green into this part here for the rind. This is that sour part of the rind, the yellowish part. But has anyone else had like anything with their job where AI is like taken over, or most people lucked out? I'm always curious. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I like that green in there a little bit more. May add some green to the other ones. The biggest thing is, so this is like a watermelon popsicle, but it has something on top of it, and it's not, I think I'm gonna make it chocolate. I know you normally would not dip a watermelon popsicle into chocolate, but I'm gonna, because this is my art world. But I don't know. I was trying to figure out what it could be. And I'm like, I'm just gonna make it chocolate. Why not? Oh, we did the funnest thing. So I don't know how many of you know this, but I have purple hair. Well, it's black and purple. However, I am going back to au naturel because, well, can't keep up my hair. But we did dye my daughter's hair because she's just been so depressed, with a broken arm and all. So we dyed her hair purple yesterday, all purple. And because she's a natural super blondie, the purple just stuck and it's so cute. So she's got this dark purple hair. And then where she has like her more natural highlights, it's like a bright purple. Oh, it's so cute. But yeah, we did that yesterday to kind of cheer her up because it's hard to give her something to do or like, make her happy. And like she's watched movies, she's done books. If anyone has any ideas of like crafts or activities you could do one-handed, like definitely put them in the comments because like that's what we're struggling with, is finding something she can do with one hand. She can't color because when you, like, for most of us when we color, we use our other hand whether we realize it or not. She can't diamond paint. We tried that, but she needs her two hands. So it's like we're trying to think of something she can do other than puzzles, because the girl's gonna burn out on puzzles. But right now, all she can do is puzzles because she doesn't need two hands for that. So yeah, if anyone has any ideas, I would appreciate it because I am banging my head against the wall. Like reading we've done, but she's already been at like what, 2 weeks now? So yeah. I know purple hair actually does a lot of people can pull off the purple hair. I have noticed, however, if you don't get enough sleep at night and you got those lovely bags under your eyes, purple hair is not flattering. It brings out that purple. So yeah, that'll be one nice thing about going back to my natural hair because I have not been sleeping well and that purple hair is just accentuating those lovely purple bags under my eyes. I'm like, ah. Tablet coloring programs. Ooh. You know what? We should try that. She has like a little so for Christmas we got her this cool Chromebook that turns into a tablet. I wonder if they have more advanced one. They had the more kiddie ones like, color by number, but she's a little more advanced than that. Like but maybe I'll see if they have the ones where you can like really color on it and see what they got. That's actually a good idea. Paddle ball. That's actually a good one. Whodunit mystery games. Oh, that might work. Someone sent her a I Spy book. It's kind of like, a Where's Waldo, except you have to find a certain number of hidden objects in the book. And oh my gosh, like when she got it, she was like, oh, this is going to be so easy. And I was thinking the same thing. And then I tried to do that with her and I was like, what on earth? Like it was rough. I could not. I was like, where is this darn object? Oh, play jacks. That's not that old fashioned. Actually, there's boys in our neighborhood do that. They'll be outside on the sidewalk playing jacks. So that's actually not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, we've been looking for ideas. I tried to get her some like really cool puzzles though. So like if she finishes them and they're like ones that we can, glue and hang on the wall. I told her, I was like, well, I have a bunch of diamond painting kits, but it's hard when she's stuck in bed and she doesn't have the patience for diamond painting anyway. But you still need like two hands because you got to open like the little things, to get the diamonds out. So let's see. Look for the ones by artists who have. Oh, like it helps them with shaky hands. I'll have to look. I mean, there's an app for everything, right? Isn't that the whole motto? Yeah, I didn't even think of Jax. That's actually a fun one. It'd be nostalgic for me just to watch her play it. All right. And it's kind of rough because like she'll have friends that'll come over, but especially with her being on bed rest, it's not as fun. But I'm hoping once she's off bed rest, more friends will come over and she can do a little bit more, but oh, and the funniest thing, so we put up our trampoline, we put it back up because my daughter, who broke her leg on the trampoline last summer, begged my husband to put it back up. No joke, begged him to put it up. And I'm like, okay, so no fear. But every time I look out the window and I see her jumping on that trampoline, I'm like, literally, like, my stomach's in knots. I'm nauseous. My heart's falling. I'm like, oh my God. And then I had turned away for a second to do something, and I look out there, and she was just laying flat on the trampoline. And so I go running out there, like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? And she was like, what? I was just sunbathing. But I thought she like broke something and was like, just laying there in pain. Yeah. So she clearly has no fear of getting back on that trampoline, whereas I am traumatized. But it's good that she's not afraid, especially because her freaking sport of choice is gymnastics. And I'm like, well, you can't be afraid on that one because you're going to fall all the time. Well, see, she didn't even fall off the trampoline when she broke her leg. She broke her leg just jumping on it. And surprisingly enough, according to the orthopedic surgeon, that is the most common way to break a bone on the trampoline is jumping. Just jumping. Because she landed at just the wrong time when someone else jumped at the same time, and that caused her tibia to break. So it was kind of interesting, but hey, at least she's fearless and she's back on there like every day. She goes out there on the trampoline. Um, but our net is broke, so I have limits until the replacement net comes because I'm like, no flips or anything. I need you to flip into the net so it doesn't, fly off of it. But yeah, she's definitely my fearless kid. But that's been helping her in gymnastics because let's see what, it's been a couple months, but she fell off the balance beam at gymnastics and missed the mats that they have under the beam and landed on her head on the concrete. Looked out, no injuries, and then she's right back up on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of watermelon rinds, isn't there? Yeah, their bones are what's funny about kids' bones, right? They're not strong enough because they haven't had years to calcify like us, but they heal 10 times faster. Like my daughter's humerus break right now, if it was like an adult, we would be having surgery. There would be no question. It would be operation no matter what. But with kids, even though she has a deformed deformed break, they are not operating yet because they're like, even if it starts to fuse together and it's still deformed, it'll correct itself over time because, well, their bones are still growing. But us adults, yeah, no, not so lucky. But yes, kids, their bones aren't as strong, but they sure do heal 10 times faster. Oh, hi, Blue. The other Blue, because I think there's another Blue here. But we've got two Blues. Yeah, it's just crazy, like, how quickly kids heal, too. Because the doctor with my daughter's arm was like, yeah, there's a deformity, but it'll correct itself by the time she's an adult. And I'm like, okay. But I guess that's the benefit of your bones still growing. Whereas for us adults, well, yeah, what's done is done. I hope you guys can see these greens. I wish this stupid thing would zoom in because these greens are so cute. I'll have to fix the camera for the next go around. I didn't even tell you guys the greens I was using, did I? Oh, that was my bad. So we have light olive, spring green, and then gold. The only one that's new is gold. The other two are from the old set. So, oh, I know trampolines are dangerous. We never were allowed to have them as a kid. But what's funny is so when I got them for my kids, I got the spring covers, the nets, so they couldn't fall off. I got all those things, and that's actually not the way most people break their bones. So, but I don't know. I just want my kids to have some fun. I mean, what's a childhood without a broken bone, right? I'm gonna just manually move my camera down because I can't do my little zoomy zoom. But yeah, we got the trampoline and we knew it was dangerous. I mean, my husband goes on calls on patients all the time that have hurt themselves on trampolines, but it's just we wanted our kids to have a little fun. And my daughter went to a birthday party that was at a trampoline park. Goodness gracious. And that was, I mean, it hasn't even been a year since her leg is healed. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, the labels? So, well, if you're not like me, aka lazy, I just sharpened right over them. But you can actually use, like, I've got this Ranger heat tool. Just heat them up and they'll peel right off. They'll practically fall off. So I'm just like, yeah, I can't be bothered. Will there be glue in my sharpener? Sure, but I just don't care. I just don't have time for it. So you can either embrace my crazy method or just, yeah, heat them up and they'll peel right off. Oh yeah, alcohol's another way. The heat works really nice just because it heats the glue and they literally pop right off, but the alcohol will work as well. Yeah, how much bubble wrap? I mean, think about like when we were a kid, like kids, right? I mean, we didn't have like you know, half the time I don't even think we wore seatbelts because our cars didn't have working seatbelts. But just the things that I did as a child is kind of nuts considering that I'm alive today. Hi, Elise. Um oh, that's awful, Blue. Her neck. Oh my god. I cannot even imagine. That's horrible. Her poor mother. That's sad. I mean, that is always a fear of mine, but I just have to hope. Let's see. Oh, it took off the barrel paint. Then try heating it up. See if that works better for you. Like I said, I do the heat method. Works pretty well. Lawn darts. Exactly, Dee. I mean, we used to play run in front of the dartboard and not get hit by the darts. And somehow we lived through all that. So, didn't lose an eye or anything. I don't know. Like the things I did as a kid, I wouldn't even dare let my kids do now. I'm like, no, 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 too dangerous. And then I'm sitting there thinking, wow, the way we lived. I mean, but think about it, like car seats when we were kids were like a joke compared to the car seats they sell now. Holy cow, the car seats they have now are safer than my car in general. Oh gosh, the metal slides. You know what's funny is there was still some parks out here with metal slides, but they finally have replaced all those. But yeah, the metal slides that would just like sear your skin off. Yeah. You're like, what's that burn from? I went on a slide when I was 5. It's fine. Yeah, all the parks now have those plastic ones, but those things are pretty hot too. Like our swing set in the backyard, that slide gets raging hot. It doesn't help that it's facing the afternoon sun either. Yes, riding in the back of a pickup truck. Yeah. We rode like we went camping as kids and we had one of those campers that fit on the bed of a truck, and we would be in that little camper thing like while they were driving. Like there was no seat belts or anything. But yeah, like nowadays it'd be like, no, you have to stay in the car until we stop and then you can get in the camper. So it's just funny. All right, I'm gonna try it on this one first. All right, so for the big watermelons, I'm just gonna use my light olive and spring green. Oops, and see how I like it first. And we'll go from there. I do want to make it a little more ziggy zaggy though, like the lines on a watermelon. Rear facing station wagons. Ooh. Oh, hi, Thomas. Sorry, you gotta remember, chat moves fast. I catch what I can, but I can't always catch it all. Especially if I'm looking down and coloring. I look up and try to catch what I can. Now I really want to eat some watermelon. It hasn't been super warm out here though, and I usually crave watermelon like once it gets into the 80s. I don't think we've even hit 80s yet. Ah, stop autofocusing, camera. It's because I had to move it manually down to the page, so it's gonna autofocus. So I apologize. But I can't update my software because it's being a punk at the moment. So I'm gonna have to figure out after this stream why it's doing that. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's 85. Nice. It's supposed to only be 70s here. Thomas, my daughter's doing good. She's still on bed rest, but she goes to the doctor tomorrow, and she's really hoping they say she's not on bed rest so she can at least do something. But I guarantee it's not going to be like, hey, go enjoy summer, because she still has a open break with nothing protecting it other than a sling. So, Oh my gosh, jumping off the roof onto trampolines. I did that as a kid. But we would go from the roof to the trampoline and hopefully make it into the above ground pool. Above ground. So like there was like no deep end. You were totally bottoming out in that pool. Yeah. I don't know how I lived through that. Sisters and I waited in the car. Well, yeah, can't leave kids in the car now. They'll come after you. I know. It's a miracle we all survived, right? I'm doing the spring green really lightly. And I'm going to end up activating my darker color first. Get that cool little watermelon rind effect. I'm so lazy though. I buy the pre-cut watermelon. Like I just can't be bothered. It's sad. Hi PJB. Oh gosh, yeah. Air conditioning. I mean, let's see. We were in California, so I mean, like we would get, 80s, but nothing crazy like the temperatures we get here in Utah, like, above 100 and whatnot. But I remember when my grandma first got air conditioning at her house in California, and it was like, whoa. And now, like, if you find a house without air conditioning, you're like, what's wrong with this place? But I mean, out here in Utah, we need the AC because yeah, in the summer we get into the hundreds and ugh. Like the second floor of our house where my art studio is and the kids' bedrooms. Oh, gross. Oh, gross. I'll come up here and it's like so stifling. I like to go hide in the basement in the summer. It's always cool in there. I don't feel like this green is going to be dark enough. I might need to break out one of my other darker greens. I just don't feel it's giving the color. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll activate this dark green that I have in here, and then I'm going to grab an even darker one and layer that in. But right now I'm just activating my darkest green color, and then I will go back for the light. If you can't remember where you put down the darker green, then just put down the darker green first and then go back with a light after. Like, you don't have to put them all down. There's no rule. Okay. Yes, PJB, I did get the card. I have forwarded it to Ryan. I'm actually going to be talking to him either tonight or tomorrow, just depends. I'm gonna grab a dark green. And then I have like sent him some pictures and stuff like this is how did your way. So he does have it or will have it. I don't know how. I sent it with the post office, so hopefully his delivery guy is a lot better than mine. All right, I need a darker green. I'm gonna grab my Ionian, I think. Yeah, Ionian. Wherever it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna dry this real quick and then I'm gonna go back over it with my Ionian green. Yes, I've seen the autumn one. I have them all on pre-order. All of hers are always on pre-order. I've got her Christmas gnomes on pre-order. Oh yeah, this can be better. So I'm just going back over where I used, what color was that? Light olive, which was my darker one, but now I'm going over it with the Ionian green because I just want it darker in a few other places. If you ever go back over something you've activated, make sure it is dry. So if you're impatient, use like a Ranger heat tool. You can use a hair dryer with these because it's not like traditional watercolor where it's going to move the color. But yeah, you can go over, just make sure it's dry. Otherwise, you are really going to screw up the tip of your pencil. Oh, she watches my live streams, actually. She's my #1 fan. I love it. It's super cute. But she's always watching my streams. All right, now I'm going to activate that. Oh, yes, much better. Has that nice dark color that you get on the rind. The cool pattern. Then I'll go back and activate my lighter color after I get all these. Okay. I'm like hyper focused on the detail. Should have done this with watercolor pencil, then I could have just been more free and been like, well, I don't care. Whatever. All right. There we go. Perfect. Oh, the last page of the book, just for this. Why is the camera in and out? Stop that, camera. Maybe I'll put my hand there so it stops. The last page, like in the whole book, or you mean you're just working on that last page? I need to complete my tree. Oh, too much water. I need to complete my Teresa Goodridge books. Life goals. All right, now I'm activating that lighter color. There we go, much better. Okay. I try not to put a ton of water on this cardstock. It's really good about not pilling, but I mean, it's not a watercolor paper, so still got to keep that in mind. Okay. There, we got a little watermelon. Oh, that looks like a birthday party. Yep, that's right. Yes, that Ryan. I'm gonna move this up a little so it quits auto-focusing. Sorry, it's driving me nuts. All right, let me dry this one because it's really wet. Okay. Oh my gosh, the autofocus is unreal today. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go over with my spring green, which is my lighter one, but I'm just going to make it a wee bit darker in some spots because I did add that darker green last minute. So on the next one, it'll be easier because I'll have my layers laid out. Check that out. Yeah, I just want to darken up a few spots where just not quite what I want it to look like. Yes, he did delete them, but he's focusing on himself and his job and recovery, which is really good for him. So it was something he needed to do as part of that. I'm not gonna lie, YouTube is mentally draining and a lot of work. So, you know, when you've got a lot going on in life, no matter what it is, it's a lot to keep up with. So sometimes you gotta just step away. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's tackle this big fat watermelon with this cute little gnome. I think, you know, one thing I like about the gnomes is, I don't know, you don't have to color a face, you just color your nose. It's easier, so much easier. Okay, so like I said, I added a darker green. So the greens we're using on the rinds, or not the rinds, but well, they are the rinds, but you know what I mean. The exterior is Ionian green, light olive, and then spring green. And those are all from the original set. So you don't have to have the new ones. Well, that's good. It has helped you in recovery. I mean, like I had started it, you know, because I needed something to do, but it's definitely helped me with my anxiety. Helps us all differently. But sometimes a hobby can become a stressor too. So we have to just be aware of that. And when it's becoming one of those, just take a break from it. Let's see. Oh, that's a shoe. I almost colored that. So I'm just taking my Ionian green. That's the darkest one. I'm gonna get that dark color, and what I'll do is I'll activate this and then I'll add in the other colors so you can see what I mean about, like, if you want to layer them in as opposed to sitting there with all of them in there, because sometimes it can be hard, like, to see which color is which. I'm gonna make this one come outward because these are not in perfect lines. I love Teresa Goodrich's style. It's just so fun. And this Gnome series is cracking me up. It's like quirky and just the epitome of her personality. Put that one there. All right. Yeah, doing live streams stressed you out. Yeah, live streams are a lot more like work than just recording the video because you've got the chat going, so you got to make sure you actually look at it and respond. So it is a lot. It's a lot more. So I totally get that. There's sometimes I'm like, I don't know if my brain's strong enough today. But that's why there's some weeks where I'm like, sorry, I can't stream today, but it's just because I wouldn't be able to color and keep up with chat and just too much going on. Oh, let's see. Wait, I must have missed something about a police report. I'll have to scroll up later. So that's what I mean, keeping up with chat. I'm like, wait, a police report? So I'm just getting this one. So the Ionian green is a lot darker, but it's perfect for giving those extra dark little areas. Hi, Emily. Oh, 22 months. That's awesome. That's really awesome. All right. Who would have thought a watermelon would require such focus? Oh, with an Amazon driver? My goodness, what did he do? Like, we never have the same driver. I swear, every time it's someone different. I don't know if it's turnaround or what, but I'm like, who are you? Unlike UPS, we always have the same UPS and FedEx drivers, but Amazon, it's like never the same person. Okay, got that down. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my light olive. Actually, I'm gonna dry this first. So we were looking at video games that were one-handed, and there's not as many as you would think, which was kind of weird. Because you would kind of think they would tap into that, because obviously there's a lot of people one-handed. But nope, we didn't find much. There's some games you can alter, but I'm taking my light olive, so it's like our medium green. And now just kind of going in. She did find some games on our smart TV. You can use the remote and play them, so I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised at how few games there are that are one-handed. Like, we have an Xbox, we have a Nintendo, whatever that thing is called, Switch. Yeah. And yeah, it's like slim pickings. Okay. And this is why normally I put all the pencil layers down, because I just prefer to put them all down and then activate them how I want. But I wanted to show you guys, if you wanted to do one color at a time, what you would do. And I am overlapping the darker green in some spots, which will just make it even darker. Okay. Some friends come over, but like I said, right now during the bed rest phase, it's just, they get bored. And so it's not as fun for them. And well, I'm telling you, kids these days have no empathy. So instead of like being understanding that it's not her fault she can't be entertaining, they just don't come over. But yeah, it's like I'll usually get someone to come over every couple days, but it's hit or miss, that's for sure. But like she was really excited. She got a puzzle, and so she asked her friend, like, "Hey, do you want to come help me do this puzzle?" And then, kids these days aren't as thrilled about puzzles. So friend didn't want to come over, and so she was pretty bummed out. But I just tried to explain to her it's just right now, it'll go away. She'll get to do stuff, and I don't know. And now I'm just activating this. Oh, hi, May. Oh yeah, we're keeping an eye on her for depression and stuff. She's definitely bummed, but not depressed. I mean, like I said, we've been doing some stuff to cheer her up. Oh my gosh, that girl watched all 8 Harry Potter movies. It was insane. She did it in a day and a half. Woo! Okay. All right, now. Oh, problem is the heat gun is making my tape lift back up because that's how you get the tape off. All right, now I'm going to grab my spring green, which is the lightest color. I'm just going to work that in here. I'm going to add some right here as well as here because I don't like that blotchy. Maybe put a little bit here. All right. Get that going. But yeah, I've been sitting with my daughter, hanging out with her. If she's watching a show, I make a point to just go in there and sit with her. She's actually in my room right now because it's too painful to walk upstairs. And then, of course, during the day, if she needs something, I'm usually downstairs, so it's easier. But probably going to move her back up to her room after her appointment if they say she's good. We'll see. And then she can just sit on the couch during the day. All right. There we go. That was a big watermelon. See ya, Sarah. Yes, Leslie. So if you have washi tape and you put washi tape down, instead of peeling it off, just hit it with your heat gun and then it'll come right off the paper. It'll literally like just start peeling itself practically. So, like the only bummer is like I'm using the heat gun right now to dry some of these layers so I can keep going. So it's lifting them off of my artboard. But like when I'm going to remove it here, I'll just hit it with a heat gun and it'll practically fall right off. All right, so with this watermelon, I'm just going to layer them all in. I think that's a watermelon in here. But so I'm going to start with that Ionian green, which is my darkest one. And I'm going to put all the colors down because that's just faster and easier for me. Oh, no worries, Kenny. Thank you for coming by. Inktense are a lot faster for a page, but it just depends on how many layers you use. Like, they're still a pretty quick medium, but I mean, they take some time, and especially if you're new to them, they take a little longer. But I will say, I feel like a color page is quicker with the Inktense, but I don't know, the more advanced you are with them and the more layers you add, then you feel quite slow. So Yes, no school, but she would rather have a broken arm while in school, to be honest, because you can't really enjoy summer break with a broken arm. So there's that one little hiccup there. Like, can't go to the pool. And she definitely can't because she's in a sling since they can't cast it. So that just makes it worse. I kept asking Mom, like, is there any way we can cast this? I mean, because then she could at least like wrap it in plastic, go to the pool. I don't know. We don't have to worry about the dogs bumping it. That's the biggest worry, is the dogs jumping up and like bumping her arm. So we have to be really careful with that. Okay, this is the spring green. But the dogs have been pretty good. I'm just worried, like, if she starts getting up and walking around. I mean, my dogs are trained not to jump anyway, but just because they're trained in something doesn't mean on an occasion they decide, hey, I'm going to jump on you today. All right, let's activate these ones. So again, I'm just going to activate my darkest one first. Such a pretty green. I love watching the way Inktense activate. They're just so fun. It's like the color is pretty when you put it down, but gosh, when water hits them, it's just like, whoa. Yeah, it's something else. The coolest pencil, I've got to say, that has been invented. So way to go, derwent. All right, I'm going to get my other darker green going. Okay, we got some right here. Has anyone colored this page in this book? I mean, the book's been out for a little bit now. I'm curious if anyone has already. It is pretty cute. There's like a carnival page in here too. I think I might try to do this summer. I started the book page, like the little gnome sitting on the tree with all the books, but then I don't know, I just was like, so I'll have to come back to that one. Bye, Dawn. No, my Tombow colorless blenders have never really dried out on me. How are you storing them when you get them? Are they coming in plastic? Like plastic packaging? Or are they coming completely open? And then also, where are you buying them from? Would be my other question. But I mean, like, I still store mine. I take them out of the packaging and I store them upside down because this is the end I tend to use the most, the brush nib. So I store them upside down. But gosh, I would say I got 3 here right now. And the only time I really replaced them is either because the nib just got torn up too much, or it finally ran out of, I don't want to say ink because it's not really ink, but it ran out of its goods. But yeah, I haven't had any like dry out fast. So that's kind of interesting. All right, did we get all the watermelons? Oh, no, I was going to color this one and make it, let's see, that's still wet, so let me dry it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to color this. I know it's heart-shaped, but I'm going to just say it's a cutout watermelon. Well, I don't know. No, I'm going to hold that thought. I'm going to hold that thought. Okay. I like the background so far, but I may darken it. But I think what I want to work on next is this little tray. I don't know why, but I want to. I think I'm going to make it, I want to stick to like a lot of pink screens and blues, I think, in the color palette. I'm going to do this in like a light wood just so it doesn't take over. So where? Okay. So I'm going to grab some of my favorite browns. Where is Willow? Willow is one of my favorite Inktense browns. It is just a beautiful color. It's really nice and light. I just love it. I'm going to combine it with a gold I already have out. I'm debating if I want to add anything else. Let's try those two and see how they work out. So my whole thing when I'm coloring a page, where's that gold at? Okay. I like to try and repurpose my colors because it just helps bring it all together, especially if you like to fly by the seat of your pants, right? So like these blues in the sky, I'm going to find a way to like incorporate them lightly elsewhere. Not a lot because they're already in the sky. But like, you know, the pink flamingo will find its way maybe into a bow or something. But like I've used the gold, I'm going to use that in the wood grain down here because you want to keep your colors. Like if I were to just constantly change out colors, it'd become quite the big mess. But I mean, I'm not saying you can't do that either. So, to each their own, but that's just the method of my madness. All right. Just color my wood grain. Let's see. Amazon said they came in single wrap. Yeah, they shouldn't have dried up quickly. I mean, now if you don't use them for a year and they dry up, that's yeah, that makes sense. You know, I'm gonna add oak. Okay. So oak and willow are from the original set. I just need one more darker brown. But yeah, they shouldn't dry up in a matter of weeks or even a few months. I mean, because mine have been sitting there for a little bit now. But if we're talking like they've sat there a year unused and they dry up, then I could see that happening. And this one's oak. I'm just putting this here and there for a little bit more darker color. But most of it is going to be willow, and I'm just going to be dragging the willow color and creating my own highlights with it. So now I'm using willow. Oh, it's okay. I never expect people to always show up when I start or even stay the whole stream. No requirements. Show up if, when you can, if you want. Totally up to you. There's no rules. Add a little oak right here. And we're going to add some right here. I like to make my own wood grain patterns. I mean, I'll follow what the artist has, but then I tend to add a little bit more. Okay. All right, now I'm going to just take some gold. Yes, I think it is glycerin and water. I keep meaning to try and refill mine just for, you know, experiment's sake. Every time I go around to do it, there will be like a deal on a Tombow, and I'm like, never mind. But I need to do that. Okay. So this one, there's going to be a lot of cleaning off my brush. But first, I'm going to take this one here and just drag it. Like, you really want to wipe off your brush a lot with the Inktense, only because that pigment really sucks into these nylon bristles. So you can get a really muddled looking color if you're not careful. So just always have like a little paper towel, or I use rags because then I just wash them, but you know, you do you. Just make sure you have something nearby. Okay. Oh yeah, I would say that would be a bad batch if they were February, because I mean, we're barely into June. They definitely should not have dried out. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the wet brush and going across like this, just on its side and going across and just letting it naturally activate and leave a lot of the lines that I already created. And then I just go back and touch up. But then it just leaves you where you had white space. You get like a natural little highlight and no one even knew. It's the same thing here. Like, I get that and then I just run it across. Wipe it off. Run it across. Okay. And then I just go back and catch anything that didn't dissolve all the way. All right, and then right here, I'm just going to take a tiny bit of my willow off the tip and let it bleed in. The paper's already wet, so it'll just kind of bleed right in. And now I gotta dry it because it's super wet. All right. It looks like I missed a little bit down here, so we get that one. Okay. Then for the little legs, I'm just going to take my willow, put that there, and I'm just going to drag it. Oh, what a cute little basket or bowl. I guess it's more like a bowl. Okay. Yes, you can get these on Colt pens. Don't ask me when you're going to get them from Blick because I don't even think they know. Okay, so for my leaves, kind of like going back to my point where I said I like to repurpose my colors to keep it all cohesive. That's what we're going to do. So I have the Ionian green, I have light olive, spring green, but I am also going to add back my gold as well. So those 4 colors are going to be used in the leaves and vines throughout this. We're going to possibly add, we'll see. Because the leaves will be darker than my watermelon rinds, but I'm just gonna pop these in, like really not thinking about it. Like, don't care. So I'm just using my Ionian green right now. Okay. Let's see, I'll take this light olive, put it on the rest of that one. I'll add light olive to some of them, but not all of them. Okay, and then I'll get my spring green. Let's see. Then I'll just add my gold. I don't want too much gold because, I mean, this is obviously not a fall page, but I think a little bit would look cute. Okay. So when I'm activating these, I'll go light to dark, but I'll have my little thing here so I can wipe it off because I don't want the colors to get all muddled. That's the big thing. So just like go light to dark. And then if you want like some of that dark that's already on your brush, you can scumble it in, but just keep in mind what color you got on there. Yeah, I actually know about that refill chart, but here's the thing. I don't want to refill my Ohuhus with Copic ink. I already own the Copic markers. So if I'm going to refill them, I'm going to refill the Copics, but that's predominantly because the Ohuhu does not have the Copic nib. Now Ohuhu is releasing their marker refills. So if you want refills for your actual Ohuhus, but it's just a thing for me. Like other people go for it. Especially if you don't own the Copics, you could do that. But that you need to keep in mind, you're not going to get the exact same result because you're not using the right nib. So that's just something to keep in mind with those charts. Yeah, you can buy a cheap Ohuhu, fill it with a nice Copic ink, but I almost feel like you're shortchanging yourself because you're using kind of like an upscale, product, but then putting it on a subpar nib. So, but yeah, you can do that. However, I personally like to invest in the Copic because it's just built to last. Like you can change out the nibs; they're just sturdy. Those things are like freaking tanks. And then they're really, I mean, the refill prices have gone up over the past few years, of course, which I know everyone hates with the Copics, but yeah, I feel like they're worth the investment. They're a long-term use marker. And even with Ohuhu's refill, um, I'm not too sure how those are going to be. I have to test them. So we'll see, but I mean, there's a lot of things that make the Copic different than the Ohuhu. And then, of course, you would need to remember to relabel your markers so you knew what color you were actually putting in your Ohuhu, because it's not going to, obviously be the same. But yeah, I mean, that Copic nib is honestly a very important factor in markers. And like, to this day, I would tell people save up, buy some Copics, and they'll last you a long time versus the Ohuhus, where I feel like I'm constantly having to replace their nibs, and they only came out with replacement nibs on Ohuhu not too long ago. But I just don't get the same blend. I don't get the same performance. I mean, you use a Copic and you're like, yeah, I can see why this is cost this much. I mean, is it overpriced? Sure. But so are most expensive art supplies. So it's one of those things. I don't know. Don't get me wrong though. I do like my Ohuhus. It's just I would keep my Ohuhu ink in the Ohuhu and leave it there. But yeah, it's to each their own. We all got budgets. But yeah, Tanya, I love my Copics. Like, I would do more color alongs. It's just I know most of you don't have Copics with, and I totally get it. They're not cheap. But the Copic sketch really, or not sketch, the Chow really aren't too badly priced. You can always just get the Chow, and yeah, you'll have to refill it more, but that's the only thing. And they're, if you go to that cozy scrapbooking shack or wherever that place is that I bought most of my Copics, then you can get quite a few Copics for pretty cheap. But the Chow is pretty good. You'll just have to refill it more. But I mean, you get a whole refill vial, so it's not like going to cost you more. The refill is the refill. So the only thing I don't like about the Chow is, I don't know, they roll. You're reorganizing yours. Oh, I love them. They're like little gems. You hold them and you're like, oh, my precious. But yeah, until a brand comes out and beats that Copic nib, it's going to be really hard to get me to not love them. I've tried companies with the similar type of nib to the Copic, but even then I'm like, nah, sorry, you're not quite there. I would say Artezas are a lot closer, but not quite. Not quite. Closer, but not quite. All right. Okay. Well, I am at the 2-hour mark, so I think we're going to call it a day for now. But yeah, this is the channel buddy color. So if you do have Gnome Sweet Home, I want to keep saying gnomes in the neighborhood. If you want to color along, just get your Gnome Sweet Home page, do the watermelon. Check out my community tab on my channel. I mentioned the hashtag to share it on Instagram. You obviously don't have to color exactly like me. It's just a buddy color. However, I decided to do it on camera, and I'll finish the other part on camera. But that way, if you want to color along, you can. So, well, hi, Korilynn. You speak French, but Barbara colored. Oh, I love Barbara. She is so freaking talented, that woman. But yeah, so if you want to like color along, you can, or you can like go and do your own thing. But the whole point is just this is the channel buddy color for this month. So I hope to see some of you guys break out your little gnome pages here with a watermelon. I think they're so cute. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really good rest of your Sunday. And until next time, take care. Bye, everyone.